Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Winner Circle Sports Betting Podcast. Sean Higgs coming at you here. It's a Thursday, which means Doug Upstone and Chirimbes with me here. No NBA, college basketball, NCAA Tournament. We'll be looking at 3 night games here in just 1 second. But before we get to that, hit the like, share, notification bell on so you know each and every day we come at you. College hoops, NBA, perhaps a Major League Baseball next Thursday. Opening day starts at 3:07 Eastern time there. No noon games, whatever. I'll rant about that all next week. But we have basketball in the comment section. Who do you like in the night games? Maybe you want to mention a day game. That's fine. Fire away. We're here for you. We're here for you with that. These are the free picks. 37 and 29. 56% here with our college basketball free picks. Our best bets are at gamblersworld.net, where you get Chip, Doug, myself, NBA, college hoops, NHL, everything you need is over there. The March Madness package is still up $2.99 through the championship game. You want something different? Day pass. It's great when there's 16 college basketball games going on. You just want that. $69.99 because there might be hockey and NBA sprinkled in there. I don't know what everybody's got going on, but a day pass is all-inclusive. A 3, 7, or 30-day pass, also all-inclusive, but yet, all importantly, guaranteed. It shows you a profit or we credit you back. So there's that. We're here to save you money. On the same token, we're going to make you money long-term here with our picks. There we go with the sales pitch. The best thing you do is hit the like. That costs you nothing. Commenting costs you nothing. Gentlemen, we got games underway. Early games, Creighton, Louisville, High Point, and Purdue. Brian Billard, Matt Fargo, myself, we covered these games yesterday here. They're underway here. And then we have Wisconsin going Montana shortly as we do these early here on Thursday. Any thoughts on these games real fast, and we'll get to today's picks? Doug.
When you say thoughts on, what's actually going on?
Oh, yeah, High Point and Purdue. Did you like anything coming in?
I didn't like anything. I didn't like anything coming in on that game. High Point was tempting, of course, but not enough. More than anything, just watching what I've seen so far, I'm just surprised by the lack of energy by Louisville. Okay, and Creighton can't miss right now, so they're playing their tempo of game. So that's it. But got lots of action going here, and some college basketball has been fantastic here the last 26 days. The streaks go anywhere from 11-2 most recently to 42-21 in college basketball. So really doing extremely well. And, the March Madness, well, it's been a marvelous March for me so far. 52-24 across all sports. That's $7,300 worth of profit. So very, very pleased with that, as are the people at Gamblers World that are making the purchases too. So it's been fun.
Chipper.
Well, I use the Creighton side as a early bird chip shot selection. That was the only thing I did early. I usually don't prefer to have those games. I like the games that are more or less on a national scale, and everyone has a chance to see them. It's Thursday, it's noon Eastern. There's people working, and maybe there aren't as many people getting down as I would hope. So I usually go leash on these games. It means I go easy, and I do have Creighton as a small play in the morning, and I have a best bet. My Megabucks hit my last 2 Saturday and Sunday, now 28 and 14 on the year. And I hope to get that's 67%. Reaching that 70 level is really, really tough. But who knows? In the next few days in the tournament, if we go 5-0 or 6-1, we might be able to get there.
All right, you heard it here first, gents. I got High Point early here, and I have a nice, I believe a 9.5 in pocket here. So we'll see how that goes. I don't mind for the tournament. I know you want eyes on games, but if it's a winner, I'll take a stab at it.
Well, I posted it.
Hey, listen, so far both of us are looking good here early.
No, you're never looking good till it's over. I had an 11-point lead with Texas yesterday, and I turned around and said, oh, that's great. I got the final.
Again, I don't I never count the chickens, but as of this second, so far so good for us. It's better than being down early with a game. But let's move on here. Chip, we'll stay with you here. You got a 9:40 tip. This is actually the earliest of our night games here. 9:45 tonight. St. John's in Omaha, an 18.5-point favorite for the old Redmen here. Total 148 against the Mavericks of Nebraska. St. John's, Big East champs, regular season, tournament champs. What can possibly go wrong here, Lane? 18.5 to a upstart team out of the Summit. What could possibly happen
Well,
here?
first of all, they're playing. St. John's got into the West Regional, and they're playing in Providence. So go figure. And if you went to the College World Series like I have been to in Omaha, I never even knew that this university existed. Now here they are, they're playing St. John's in the first round of the NCAA, but they can shoot the ball. They shoot the ball from threes very well, does Omaha. And St. John's, that is their biggest liability. They're only at 30% from threes, and Omaha's almost at 37%. Uh, but the Red Storm, the former Redmen, come in with 9-game winning streak, and they have dominated the Big East. Rick Pitino's second year there, they thought he wouldn't get this point till his third year. And of course, remember how disappointed Pitino was last year when he didn't get the bid, and he actually yanked his team. They were a number one seed in the NIT and turned down the bid. I thought it was sort of poor sportsmanship, and he was really upset about not getting invited. But he sort of made up for it this year because St. John's is dominated in the Big East. This Omaha, again, like I said, they're making over 8 threes a game. I think this is a really tough game between these two. Rick Pitino's taken his sixth team, his sixth club to the NCAA tournament. St. John's only allowing 63.9 points a game. Defense is their clue. And I think that the good shooting that the Mavericks may be able to provide for us, and the fact that St. John's usually doesn't shoot well, I'm going to take the points here. It's a generous points. It's the first round game. Maybe St. John's isn't that focused, though I must say, if you have Rick Pitino coaching you, I won't be surprised. But defense is their first thought, and they're not a high scoring team for the most part. I think Omaha has a chance to get in under the number. I'd play Omaha plus the points.
Omaha plus 18.5 for Chip Chirimbes here. 9:45 scheduled tip-off. Doug Upstone, thoughts?
Yeah, the Omaha, as Chip said, brilliant offensive team. I like their ability to score inside and outside. One of the things I watched them against the St. Thomas Tommies, okay, start to finish. And in that game, what impressed me was not only do they have a nice fast break offense, but they have a really good secondary fast break. Okay. And so they, so off of missed shots, they create opportunities for themselves. And so I like that. The concern for me about Omaha is they have never seen a defense like this. Okay. I mean, the pressure defense. And then the other aspect is the offensive rebounding that St. John's has. As Chip mentioned, not a great 3-point shooting team, but boy, do they run down missed shots. Okay. So they do a great job. Now, I got nothing against the Red Storm in terms of, with New York, but playing a team from Omaha, I think the most people from the city of New York or from the East Coast in general, the thing they know most about Omaha is from Peyton Manning when he used to say Omaha, Omaha. Okay, that's really what they know about here. But in this one, St. John just won their first Big East championship in 25 years. I think they might just come out a little bit flat in this one against Omaha because, again, what is Omaha to them? And then I looked up that Omaha in the first half, they are 14-3 against the number after scoring 80 points or more in their last game. So I'm willing to take the 9.5 or 10 with Omaha on the first half line in this game.
There you go. I'm with you on the first half here. St. John's 2-12, their last 12 first halves. They had big blowout wins over UConn and DePaul in the first half, but everything else has been tight, which is kind of like I think they let the game play, and then here come the adjustments from Pitino, and then they kind of pull away and do their thing. But, again, that's our thoughts here. Official pick, though, from Chip Chirimbes, plus 18.5 for the underdog Mavericks of Omaha. Get Chip's best bets at gamblersworld.net. He's got you covered for here on Thursday opening day. Go get him. Next game up, 10 o'clock start here. San Diego, the Tritons against Michigan. Big Ten champs open at a 3.5. Comes down a full point now. We have San Diego at plus 2.5. Are you kidding me with this line? Totally disrespecting the Wolverines. Like, I get it. You played Sunday. Now you're in the altitude of Denver, whatever the case may be. Well, San Diego played the championship game. This game here, you know what? I don't want to steal with anything you're going to say here with this game here. Take it away, Doug, and I'll come in after the fact.
Yeah, just San Diego came in my radar in late January. Just the record was so impressive, and then just started following and then started looking into their stats more and more, and played them a few different times as the season wore along. The things that I like about what they do is their offense. Their coach is a really smart guy in life, nothing to do with basketball, but in life. And I like their spacing of how they with their offense, and they run a lot of unique backdoor cuts off of screens that kind of like a little bit old school basketball, if you will. And so I like that. And with that, then they're guys that dribbling the ball or who handle ball handlers, they're alert to that. So they're looking for those types of plays. Defensively, honestly, it's not the same defense, but it reminds me a lot of Wisconsin. They don't do necessarily anything that you look at and say, oh boy, these guys are really good at, at stealing balls and stuff. No, they just have active hands. They're, as a group, they're what I would call connected, and they put a lot of hands in passing lanes. So they get a lot of deflections that way. Now, Michigan comes to this game, huge advantage of size, okay, in this game with their two big guys. So even though they were faulty at the end of the regular season, they bounced back to win the Big Ten tourney. Great job. But to me, as we're kind of talking about, the line is puzzling. I understand how good the Tritons are. 25-7 against the spread on the season, 17-2 straight up on the road. Those are numbers you can't ignore, and obviously neither are the odds makers here. The one thing I did when I watched the Big West Championship, though, Irvine had a guy that's 7-1, and they struggled with him in the first half. The game was very close at halftime. They struggled. So what UCSD did, they attacked the Anteaters guards, which are weaker, not great ball handlers, and they made a ton of mistakes. Now, Michigan's guards, much quicker, much more athletic, stronger across the board here. In this game, if the Tritons were catching 5, I'm all over it. Okay, I'm taking them. But at 2.5, I can't do it. I think Michigan covers. I think it's a good game. I think they win somewhere between 3 and 5 points.
Official pick, Doug Upstone here for the video. Michigan minus the 2.5. Get all of Doug's best bets at gamblersworld.net. Michigan minus 2.5. Chip Chirimbes, thoughts on this one?
Well, the San Diego team was the first time they're ever in the NCAA, by the way. They were 17-4 at one point in the season. And what did they do? They went and reeled off the 13 more wins straight to the final right here. They really have a hot hand. But, Michigan, I think this number, guys, is simply a reflection of the fact that the bookmakers think that they've Michigan, who was an underdog, and I swept with them through the Big Ten tournament, is now a favorite. And that number tells you that they're either taking this team for granted or they've already shot their load. So they beat number 5. They beat Purdue, and yet Purdue ends up being a higher seed. And the seeding with Michigan, to me, was a little bit shaky. I'm not quite sure they were there. But San Diego plays pretty good defense. Doug, I know you mentioned their offense, but they're 2-7 to the over in their last 9. So, in other words, this is an underplay, and that's the way I'm going to go here. These early tournament games in the first rounds, sometimes teams come out tight, and teams always seem to be able to play defense no matter what. And I think the game stays under.
An underlook from Chip Sherman in this game. I'm with Doug here on this Michigan squad. The fact that they're underseeded under Wisconsin, Purdue, total joke. And this is the San Diego team. We've heard about them for like the last month. So this is kind of like, I think, baked into the hype on San Diego. Folks, Michigan here, their coach was San Diego. I'm pretty sure the guy was out of Florida Atlantic, where they were kind of like the upstart program. Mm-hmm. I do not see this guy not having his – other teams could be unfocused against a lower seed or whatever. I don't think that's the case here. We saw them to start the year – excellent. We talked about them with Matt and Brian. We do our college basketball because I usually do the NBA with you guys. And we just talked about the coaching for Michigan. You saw them kind of improve during the season. Okay, a couple losses here and there. That's fine. Teams lose. This is a really good team. And you mentioned the size. I think there's no answer. I think Michigan by like double digits here. I'm shocked. I jumped on it at a 3. I didn't even care what it was. I should have known better that it was going to come down. But I think Michigan, like Doug said, 5 or 6, it's one thing. Not at this number. No, it's too much talent differential. I'm with Doug on his official Michigan play here, minus 2.5. Again, folks, Michigan minus 2.5, Omaha plus 18.5. These are the free picks for the show. You want Doug, Chip's best bets, head to gamblersworld.net. Get our college basketball for Thursday here. any NBA and hockey they got going on. It's all at gamblersworld.net. Final game of the night, a 10-10 tip-off. NC Wilmington and Texas Tech. 14.5-point fade for the Red Raiders. 143.5 your total. You can't, what's there to say? Here's another small kind of squad here. 27-7. 27 wins is pretty darn good season. 20-12 ATS for Wilmington. And I almost like one's coming in and look at the dog here. But honestly, I dig into the Red Raiders. Again, 17-16 ATS. You're out of the Big 12, different kind of numbers. Great season for them. I like these guys to make some noise. I'm going to lay the 14.5 here. And if I look at some of these early games where they go non-conference and play these teams, minus 32.5, they covered. They covered a minus 32.5. Against Bethune-Cookman. 18.5 versus Wyoming, a cover. 24.5 Lamar, a cover. Northern Colorado, 28, a cover. I mean, 34 they didn't cover, and a 41 they didn't cover. I mean,
what are they doing?
This team, those are huge numbers. We're not talking, again, 25, 20-ish, I'd maybe lean to the dog here. I'd say, all right, you know what? Maybe they get up in those teener numbers, like between 14 and 17, kind of hang in there. But this number here, I could see them winning by 20. Like this is a good, I think it's an underrated team because Houston gets all the love out of the Big 12, and there's always the Kansas talk, and there's not really Red Raider talk. This is a very good team. And maybe a little biased. I have them thinking maybe a Final Four run for these guys to knock off St. John's or Kansas or Arkansas, whoever comes out they'll be facing. Defense, rebounding, scoring. Again, underrated, almost probably to a fault when it comes into this tournament, right? All you hear about is Florida, Houston, Duke, and some other SEC squad. Nothing about the Red Raiders. I think they handle business here. I will lay the 14.5. Chip, would you lay 14.5?
I would with this team. I really are, even though Buddy Holly's not there to cheer for him. They're number 43 in offense. Number 32 in offense, averaging almost 81 points. And they're also in the top 25 in defense, only allowing 67 points. So, Texas Tech, the Red Raiders are giving it to you on both ends right now, and they can score and they can stop you. 28-8, 25-8 is a pretty darn good record considering the schedule they have to go through. Wilmington, when I first saw this, I was ready to call Mr. Quinn and say, Jim, tell me about Wilmington, but I realized it wasn't Delaware. It was in North Carolina. So I'm going to have to play against this Wilmington. And I would lay it with Texas Tech. And I'm not a big favorites guy, as you know, for the most part. But I think that's the side today.
There you go. 2 for 2. Doug, get the brooms out.
No broom for me. The Seawolves, they got my attention, though. I mean, this team, both teams in their last 5 games have scored 78 or more points. Okay, so 2 high-octane offenses that can get the ball up and down the court, drain a lot of shots here. I note that Texas Tech, in their last 22 games, either away or on neutral courts, facing a team that has a win percentage of 60 or 60 to 80%, they are 18-4 over. And when they're facing a team that has a scoring differential of +8 or more past the halfway point of the season, they are 11-1 over since last year. I'm going to go over the 143.5 on this one.
All right, over 143.5 for Doug here. But official pick for the show, again, we are 56%, pretty darn good. That is not bad. So don't be fooled by what you see on your crazy Discords or TikTok crap. 56% is a good percentage, and it'll make you money in any sport. All right, so don't frown on that. You do that, you're new to sports betting. Plus 18.5 for Chip Chirimbes here with Omaha.
Right.
You mean like a guy one of the guys I saw yesterday? He was 5-71 on his parlays, but he made over $100,000. So I mean, I think that's just we're in the wrong business here.
The best way to go 5-71 is to put in a 70-16 parlay.
So,
or actually. Yeah, I know that'd actually be good because you'd be 71-5, right? So I mean, he's got 5 wins.
So yeah,
it's crazy. Oh, again, parlays.
Well, he's not playing 2-teamers. That's for sure.
And it was also full disclosure, by the way, too. So just so everybody understands what that means or think it means.
Take them straight. Texas Tech minus 14.5, Omaha plus 18.5, Michigan minus 2.5. Straight. Listen, if you want to get crazy with a round robin, at least when we go 2-1, you'll make some money. That being said, these are the free picks. Head to gamblersworld.net for all of our premium picks for here on Thursday. On Friday, first rounders. We'll be live tomorrow with the Friday Live free-for-all 1 o'clock while the games are going on. Maybe you want in-game stuff. We'll be here. Complete College Basketball Hoop package is up right now for $2.99. Go get it. If you want something a couple weeks longer, get the 30-day pass. It is guaranteed to show you a profit or we credit you back. And it's all sports encompassing. Baseball, hockey, NBA, college hoops, all inclusive there. So there we go on a Thursday. Good luck tonight, this afternoon, as you watch this. We'll get this up right away, so you'll get into the afternoon games. But for Doug, Chip, myself, we're out of here. See you tomorrow, guys. Good luck, everybody. Bye-bye.